What's going on, YouTube? My name is Jacob. Welcome to 911%, a channel where I bring you guys along on my many random adventures with my Porsche 911s. And I post videos pretty much every Thursday. I try to anyway. I know there's been a bit of a lull here and there. I post everything from driving to events, even a few technically oriented videos as well. So if that's something that interests you, hit the subscribe button and follow along on a regular basis. Today, just like the title states, we're going to be doing an oil change on my 2011 Carrera 4S. I've been told, and everything I've read and everything I've seen pretty much says that this is the easiest oil change procedure. First step in that is just to take the car for a nice thorough drive, just so the oil warms up to proper temperature and will flow out a lot faster when we're draining it. Alright guys, so we're back in the garage now. I've got the car on top of the lift. I'm just going to lift it a little bit. The great thing about this oil change procedure is that, and actually it's been documented like this all over the place, is that you don't actually need to lift the car up at all. As long as you can reach under it and put a oil pan under there to grab the oil, you can certainly do that without a lift. The only reason I'm using a lift is just for ease of getting a camera under there and getting all this footage for you guys on how to do it. It's super simple, and let's dive in. So just going over some of the tools and supplies you're going to need to do this oil change. So right off the bat, here's my 3/4 and my 1/2 inch ratchet. I've got a 36 millimeter, usually referred to as an axle nut socket. It's 36 millimeters. You're gonna need this to remove the oil filter housing. I've got a number 8 hex bit. That's to remove the oil drain plug, which I'm going to replace on the car with a new one, along with a aluminum crush washer. And then here's a washer for the oil filter housing. And then right behind that is a Porsche oil filter with the part number, which I'm going to obviously put on the screen here. I'm going to be running Motul 8100 X Max, which is a Porsche approved synthetic oil. And I have, as you guys can see, 2 jugs because you need about 8 liters of oil. So I picked up the 10 liters. And then of course shop towels. And then down here is my big, huge truck oil pan that I use for the 993, actually all the cars, but the 993 specifically, just because it holds up to 15 liters. Yeah, so that's basically all the stuff you're going to need. Of course, it's also in the description, but let's get to it. So while we wait for the oil to drain under here, I'm gonna drop the car. We can tackle doing the oil filter. I've also opened the oil cap up here just so that, it helps drain the oil. The engine's quite hot. I let the oil warm up quite a bit before I drained it. And it's flowing really nicely. I mean, it's still a steady stream. I don't know if you guys can see it there, but it's doing its thing. Quite a bit of oil. So we're gonna let that drain. Let's grab a 36 millimeter and take out the old filter. So now that I've got the filter housing here on my bench, I'm going to use my little metal pick here to remove the gasket and then replace it with the new one. All right, so now that we've got the new gasket on the filter housing here, I also lubricated it with some oil. We're going to go ahead now and install the new filter. All right, so now that I've got the filter in the housing, we're gonna go ahead and install it back in the car out here. Bring it over, and put it back into the filter housing. so now that all the oil has drained out, pretty much I've let it drain for about 45 minutes. I've lifted the car up again. Again, this is not a step you really need to do, but I lifted it up just so that I can get right in there and clean up some of the oil around the drain. So I'm gonna clean all that up and put the new plug in, and we're almost finished. So now that the drain plug is torqued at 37 foot-pounds and the car is down on the ground, all that's left to do is to fill it with oil. So I'm gonna start with 7 quarts first, and then I'm going to take the car out for a drive, get the oil warmed up to optimum temperature, and I'm going to do the readout in the dash for the oil level. This car does not have a dipstick, which is actually quite unfortunate. I think a dipstick is far more accurate versus an electronic sensor. All right, so we're gonna use this funnel here. Something that's cool that the 993 doesn't have is that there's this like extending filler neck, which is pretty rad. So we'll take it slow, fill it up, and first put in 1 jug. All right, so I'm in the car and I'm gonna check the oil level by starting it up, and then we're gonna turn this off. So yeah, so basically in order to it's gonna take a minute to measure the oil, which I'm gonna speed up right now. Okay, so 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're 1 bar short on the oil level. So each bar equals to about 0.4 of a liter of oil. So basically what I'm gonna do now, since the car's already kind of warmed up, I'm just gonna turn it off, and then we're gonna come out, I'm gonna pop the lid, and once again add a little bit more oil. So this comes up apart. So it's the same situation. Sweet. And then 0.4 of a liter. All right, so a little bit more, maybe a little touch more. Important thing is here not to overfill the oil. So that's why I'm doing it such incremental steps. So I always go back to a level ground, which is my slab in my garage, and then I can tell where we're at. So I think that's about 0.4 of a liter. What's up, 993? Okay, so we're just gonna put the oil cap back. All right, let's go back in and see what's up. So, got pretty good oil pressure, pretty normal, everything's cool, idle's nice. Okay, that's gonna take 1 minute again to test. Let's see where we're at. So I'm gonna speed this up once again for everybody. 4 seconds. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay, perfect. So that is essentially a perfect oil level. I'm not gonna be putting in any more, so I'm happy about that. And our oil pressure is pretty good. Car sounds bomb. And yeah, we're basically ready to roll. All right guys, so the oil level is perfect. This pretty much concludes my oil change video. I'm just gonna go for a little drive now just to make sure that the car is in tip-top shape. I usually do a little shakeout drive like this when I work on the 993, so it's just a force of habit here with the 997. On that note, I'm just gonna leave you guys here. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, comment, and like, and I'll see you guys hopefully next Thursday. If not, it'll be Thursdays and Mondays. We'll figure it out, and yeah, see you guys later.
Be on some down low shit.